These have cameras built into them.
You got those things?
Meta, who am I looking at right now?
I deleted myself
You
from
are
the internet.
staring at a person standing behind a drum set.
That's
That was
Very
cool.
specific things.
I was hoping she would talk about your looks or something.
He's a lumberjack. He's very lonely.
Behind every hit song is an undeniable beat. So why doesn't anyone talk to the drummer about it?
You were the first double drumming experience I ever had. Most Serene Republic was opening for Moneen, and Mikey Taylor from the Junction said, "Hey, can I play Passing of America with you guys?" And there were two kits set up, and Mikey played the song, and then I went and I played a song, and then I knew that was my moment. So I looked at you guys when the song was done, and I was like, "I know all the songs. Can I just stay?" And you were like, "Sure."
We would never stop that from happening. We
I know.
never say no to it. It's
And-
like improv. It's like yes and.
Yes, and because of that, that's one of my favorite days of my entire life because we played that entire set. We played a Muse cover.
Did we?
Yes, played a Muse cover. We played Last Song I'll Ever Want to
my
Sing.
God.
We played that entire set, and it was just magical. And thank you for letting me do that with you. When Most Serene first got signed and we were touring a lot, I always stressed to everyone, it's the rule of Moneen.
Oh,
I've
yeah?
never told you this. So the rule of Moneen to me was play till you bleed. If your gear breaks, make it a part of the show. And whether it's a floor that you're sleeping on or a hotel room, be gracious and be thankful for what you got. And you guys did that to not just us, but to so many bands in the Southern Ontario scene and abroad, obviously. But like my next question follow-up, that was just a love fest question. It
Thank
wasn't
you.
really a question.
It was very nice.
But the
Thank you.
question is,
I'll take it.
when you guys got Smallman, and then I remember the day you got the Vagrant offer.
So he just came right out and said to Smallman, like, what will it take for us to sign Moneen?
What? What?
It meant so much to other bands that like you could do it too. When you got the record deals, did you guys feel a pressure when writing music or playing live, knowing that you had like a scene on your shoulders?
No, certainly not. I mean, Theory of Harmonial Valley, no, absolutely not. Like for Red Tree, no, not at all. No, we were just kind of there just doing our thing, doing our own thing. Like, like we had a producer, Trevor Keith, Face to Face, was a producer, and he came in and he was like, he tried to produce a little bit, and we were like, nope, these are the songs. Like we knew what we were doing. We always had a mission, we always had a vision, and we always were kind of just doing what we were doing.
Yeah.
So coming out of the there is no. Wait, there's.
That's it.
Okay,
Right?
okay.
When you were doing all that touring, I just remember a stretch of time where you were opening for the biggest bands in emo and you know that kind of stuff. So Taking Back Sunday, Brand New, Saves the Day. Did you have to have a chip on your shoulder or any way that you approached playing live when you were trying to win over a completely new subset of fans that were so into this band, and then you were kind of this gritty, like four to the floor? I always called you like the Canadas at the drive-in for just how energetic you guys were. What I know it wasn't calculated, but you just bled on the stage. Did you kind of go in with any type of plan when it came to opening for all those huge bands and those big venues?
Not really. I mean, the song selection had to be like pretty specific because it's like you got half an hour or 35, 40 minutes, not even 40 minutes. So you had to play like, you're playing like 5 song sets a night. So usually it was going to be the rockers. Like you couldn't in a set that short, you couldn't come out and like play like something quiet. Yeah, I don't know. We were just always just happy to be there and like lucky to be there and excited to be like meeting these other bands and excited to be watching them blowing up and sharing in their like success. Like just the same way you were saying like bands in the scene like look to us and that like anything was possible because of things we were doing and like celebrating our successes with us. We were always just on tour with these other bands and like, celebrating Taking Back Sunday's success and Saves the Day and like, so excited to be doing stuff with Dashboard eventually. And
Yeah. Justin Paroff would like you to tell Hippie that he says hi.
Okay. Justin Paroff says hi. I have to write it in my notes.
I think you guys just gave that like the cloud of positivity that your band was to me. Certainly, it followed you everywhere you went. Whenever I see you guys have success, I couldn't be more proud. And I have nothing to do with it, but it couldn't have happened to 4 better guys, and like just guys I consider some of my best friends. It's just, and I'm just so floored that we get to do this together because.
Oh yeah, we're a bunch of old men with beards now.
Your fucking beat and start angry though. Gets me every time.
Yeah, I gotta.
It's that left hand lead to the rack tom.
Yeah.
That is like my kryptonite.
I think I'm like getting a little tired, so I need to choke up on the stick to get it up there.
Okay.
Let's do it.
I think we both have some work to do.
Let's choke it up.
So, kind of my last question is, when it comes to writing music with Moneen, how does the songwriting process go? Does it start with a Kenny riff? Does it start with a hippie riff? Does it start with a vocal line? Does it start with a drum beat you had?
It sort of evolved over time. I think in the earliest of times it was like, I mean, it's always Kenny and hippie, like riffs and parts and stuff, and then starts with the guitars and a shape of a song. And then early Moneen was very sort of like, much more sort of like wild and free and open and stuff. So like my earliest drumming was just very like different.
Yeah.
Very like maybe someone who's not like a drummer, someone who didn't take lessons, like who just really liked to play the drums, figuring out stuff that they thought was cool and just doing it. And then I think like as things progressed, I think that it became more like serving the song, but also trying to fit in my own weirdness into it. Over time, yeah, I kind of sort of progressed that way.
Cool.
Yeah, because song got a lot less weird, I think, maybe towards Red Tree.
Okay.
Didn't it? I don't know.
And
then
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like the theory of harmonial value, smaller chairs.
it was
just
wild,
kind of
wild.
Like Smallman says, you need a hit for the radio, and then you.
They would have
record a
never said that.
6-minute passage.
Well, that's the thing. We were involved with the right kind of labels from. Sorry, touching the people in the ears. We were always involved with the right kind of people that weren't pushing us to do anything because they knew who we were and they recognized who we were, and we saw that,
Yeah.
and that's why we're with them. Like Vagrant never asked us to write hits. Like Smallman never like put any. They were just excited to support us, help us do whatever we were going to do. And then when we were speaking to Vagrant, we were getting, it's in the documentary when Kenny gets the phone call and we're talking in the van about how we're getting offers, the interest from like a whole bunch of major labels.
I think you guys have the talent and stuff to basically write your own ticket if you just stay the course and don't get all flustered by the industry weasels that are showing up.
Yeah.
But Vagrant's interested, and then it's just like they knew what we wanted to do. They were excited about what we had already done. Kenny had brought a mock-up of Really Happy record cover to Rich Egan, and he was like, great, awesome, let's do it. It was just like creative.
That's who you need to work with.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. Right. And then keep going. Sorry. I don't know if I've ever asked you this. Mm-hmm. Influences on drums.
Well, there's the like 90s, like classic 90s drummers like Matt Cameron and like, dude from Smashing Pumpkins and like, but more importantly, and where I took the most influence from was like local bands, like a band called Blake.
Yes.
Who was a great, amazing local band, and like, listening to like hardcore records. Like I heard Shopmaker on CIUT yesterday.
No way.
Driving home, I was like, oh my God, like Shopmaker was my band back in the day, and I'd put on the LP and listen to it in my bedroom. So like really trying to take influence from the local scene because nobody had heard of that shit before, and the stuff that people were doing was interesting. And if everybody's taking influence from the radio and from what's coming down sort of the main pipeline, like how are you gonna take a more interesting influence from other places and make it your own?
Okay, I'm just, as you were talking, and you were talking about playing on the radio, you and I were driving down to see the Get Up Kids and at the drive-in, and Rage Against the Machine was on the radio, and it was the song like, what better time than now? And you went to turn the volume up on that one part, and you accidentally turned the radio off. So it was like, what better time than now?
That's pretty typical.
And there was nothing.
Yeah, that's classic.
Anyway, thank you for doing this. I love you. This is amazing.